show is like a nightmare neighbour, nosy and noisy. Please make some noise for someone with a nose for the truth, Aisling B. Hey. Nose for a bargain, Ross Noble. For a good story, it's Slipknot frontman, it's Corey Taylor. And a nose for trouble, Alan Davies. And they've all brought along their favourite noises, so Aisling goes... Have you got children, Aisling?
No.
You'll go off that noise, I'm just saying.
It's the loveliest noise. Like, there's nothing nicer than the sound of a giggling baby, other than at night time if you don't know where it is.
That's very good. Yeah, maybe parenting not for you. Now, Ross goes.
I hate grapes. I am what I am.
What are those annoying children?
Well, those are my children. And obviously everyone says, you know, children laughing is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But I think even better than that is your own children acting out scenes from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So my little one can't say S's, so instead of saying I hate snakes, she says I hate rakes. So listen again.
I hate grapes.
Oh.
And that was the eldest one going, I am Mularam.
Right, let's have a listen. Corey goes.
I love One Direction.
Yeah.
Is that your own track?
That is a...
Don't tell me. Let me guess.
Okay.
Was that Psychosocial?
No.
Oh.
Close, though.
It's the only one I know. This one is Psychosocial.
This is Psychosocial, yeah.
Wow.
I'm the cute one. No. Everybody!
We haven't even got onto the questions yet. Alan goes. A favourite sound or just familiar?
Very familiar.
Just familiar. Let's start with a noisy question. I want to hear the loudest thing anyone's ever shouted. You don't have to buzz, darling. It's okay.
Oh, I just like that sound. Reminds me how lonely I am.
I've got two, you can have one.
I went to see in the cinema Magic Mike when it opened. For those of you who don't know, Magic Mike is the humble story of a male stripper who really wants to be a carpenter, very much like Jesus. And in the opening sequence of Magic Mike...
Jesus is not a stripper first.
There are bits of the Dead Sea Scrolls that have yet to be interpreted. So.
He, at the start of this film,
yes,
he does this, like, down on his knees, kind of, like, slide all the way down the catwalk. And on this giant cinema, his crotch just came flying at the audience. You know, like that scene in Singing in the Rain when they see the train moving for the first time in cinema, and they're like, ah, it's coming for us! Like, that's what the crotch was like. And I made this noise from my soul that was like... I don't know where it came, loudest sound I've ever...
And Guinness World Records happened to be there.
Was this in 3D, by any chance?
No, thank God.
Because that would have been amazing.
I want my money back!
I'm pregnant!
Now, come on, Cora, you've done lots of loud things. What do you think might be the loudest thing anyone's ever shouted?
It's got to be something at their kids.
OK, yes, in fact, you're in the right...
Shut the fuck up!
So if you could do that in a more BBC Two way...
I'll do my best.
Imagine
Shh!
OK, imagine...
Is it yodeling?
No, but yodeling is my Achilles heel. I could be on my deathbed, full of depression, and somebody yodeled, I would laugh. There's something...
Is it a human doing it?
It is a human doing this. It is, but he's in the right area. It is a word for shush. It is the loudest words have been shouted. It's in the Guinness World Records.
Like quiet.
It is quiet.
Really?
Absolutely right. It is the loudest word ever spoken.
Here's a photo of it being done.
Well, this is her.
This is her.
She's a Belfast primary school teacher. She's called Annalisa Flanagan. I think she mostly uses her rather impressive voice on the hockey pitch. But in 1994, she entered a shouting competition, and her world record has remained unbroken for 22 years. She logged 121 decibels, which is exactly the same as a chainsaw.
That's quite loud, by
Yeah.
the way. Like our shows top out at like 109, and those are quite loud. So 121 is stupid.
She's...
Slipknot, that's a good team.
That's a very good
Can you imagine? Do not make me get louder than Slipknot.
But it is good to know that if you're at a Slipknot gig and there's a Northern Irish primary school teacher, turn it down, lads!
She's 32 times as loud as a vacuum cleaner, which is sort of a weird thing to know about yourself. And she can shout twice as loud as the human pain threshold.
Oh, my God.
Is anybody here a loud burper? That's the other thing that there's a record for. Anybody do loud burping?
No, I'd need some fizzy pop.
Oh, Sandi.
That's it. That sounds like a frog
God.
with asthma.
That is something I never thought I would say. If you start lighting your farts... It's unbelievable.
I see you missed one of the shows.
Can you imagine if this was just Ross Noble's dream? Slipknot are on КьюАй, Sandi gets out, she's hosting now, she burps, then she lets it out.
Is this actually happening?
Well, the world's two loudest burpers, and I like that it's come down to two, are currently locked in a duel. The record was set by a man from Essex, surprisingly. He's there on the right, that's Paul Hun, 109.9 decibels.
No way.
Yeah, that was in February, and immediately it was broken by Neville Sharp, who comes from a town I want to go to in Australia called Humpty Doo.
Humpty Doo? Yeah, I've been to Humpty Doo, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, and they had that guy on the telly.
Right.
And they were going, we've got the loudest burper, and, you know, he's like... And he was... yeah, because, you know, slow news day. And they went, do one for us now. But, like me, he needs to build up to it, and he couldn't perform that time in the morning.
Oh, no.
And everyone was going, oh, not sure if you really are any good at it.
Humpty Doo, though, it's the
Humpty Doo.
most Australian town I have ever heard of in my life. Their biggest tourist attraction is a statue of a boxing crocodile. And they're famous for the Humpty Doo virus. It's a virus for kangaroos, and it's named after Humpty Doo. So anyway, Neville Sharp beat Paul... This is the exciting battle between the two burpers. Neville Sharp beat Paul Hun, and the day after, Paul, from Essex, broke back. He broke back with 117.9...
Oh, he's got that wrong. That's the other end.
He made 117.9 decibel belch, which is apparently louder than a Deep Purple concert in 1972, which broke the record for the world's loudest band and left 3 audience members unconscious.
They held the Guinness World Record.
Did they?
It was in the books, yeah. So that became the goal for everybody, and then Motorhead broke that, and now apparently a man's throat has done the same.
It's louder.
What the hell am I doing?
But would they not let you... Because all you've got to do is just turn it up.
Well, you'd think. You would think.
Oh.
You'd think. But you would be mistook.
Would I?
Oh,
I
why?
apologize.
Why? It's actually...
Oh, I don't know. I just thought it was fun to say that.
Neville Sharp from Australia, I like him a lot. About the burping, he said, breaking the record has been a bit of a personal goal for me. Since my sister taught me to burp when we were children.
When I grow up, I'm going to be the loudest burper. Issue with that.
Anybody able to crack their finger knuckles? That's the other thing people can do very loudly.
Oh, I hate it.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I can do it. Watch this.
Oh.
Yeah. gosh!
Were you hit by a car this afternoon?
Any other parts of you that you can make noises with?
None for BBC Two.
OK. The loudest crack of finger knuckles, you might be interested to know, is 83.2 decibels, so that's as loud as a food blender. Can you do it? I can't do it at all.
I just did it a little one, and now it'll be a couple of days.
So that's the extraordinary thing, and we can just show you. This is an actual photograph. These are knuckles, not amniotic fluid. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
And what it is, it's the bubbles of gas popping out of the fluid between your joints, and you can't crack twice in succession because you need time to build the gas back up again, so it would be impossible.
Funny would that be if you were like an ultrasound person and you just loaded that into the machine? Waited until the parents came in and went, yeah, let's just have a look.
Now, I have some things for you. What can you do with these? I'm going to hand those out to you there.
These look like the smear test things, I think.
Have you seen one of these before?
I have, yeah.
It's for erectile dysfunction, isn't it?
For ducks.
Place the balls and the... Is that it?
Oh, a duck! To get ducks!
It is a kind of whistle, but it's not to be played with the mouth.
Oh.
It's to be played with your nose.
It works! Put it in your mouth!
Now, here's the thing.
I'm guessing,
yeah.
Is this for, like, paramedics who, if somebody, they're not sure if they're breathing or not, you just put that on the... Yeah. They're still alive.
So it's called a nose flute, all right? And the very first patent for this was the nasalette in 1892. And the theory was it left your hands... There it is. Your hands free to play other instruments, but this one doesn't. So I've got some knicker elastics. If you put that round your face and the thing, I think these are from knickers. Well, before I lost weight. There we are. So try that.
Oh, can we all be in Slipknot now?
What do you reckon? You have to fill through your nose.
Oh, you can change the note. There.
It's possible the nose flutes were a mistake. Alan's completely got the hang of it. And yet, tuneless.
Oh, I can actually play the tin whistle with my
Can you
nose.
play the tin whistle?
Yeah, well, I'm going to give this one a go. 1 second.
Of a woman trying to unwrap a toffee with her bottom. Yeah, don't give them back.
I really have to clean my nose now.
Well, we will come on to what is in fact a double-ended nose picker, but the nose flutes, they've been around the world long before this patent existed. They were played in Southeast Asia, they were played in the Pacific Islands and the Congo. Fiji couples used to use them to seduce each other. Right, and apparently it was traditional to plug one nostril with tobacco and then play through the other nostril, and then you get kind of hit of nicotine at the same time. I don't know. There's a fantastic photograph in a 1909 copy of Tatler, which is a man in India playing the nose flute and the bagpipes simultaneously. It was described by one musicologist as a peak of woodwind virtuosity.
I like that he was in Tatler. What an odd, like, socialite pages at the back. Like, you know, kind of, there's always a queen and a king, and then a guy with the bagpipes and a flute nose.
I think it's on their page called Aren't Foreigners Funny? Yours is a double-ended nose picker that you've got there, Alan. This was patented in 1998. And oddly, no one has yet to manufacture them for general sale. So, how many... They did a study of nose picking in 2000. Having something other than your own finger?
No.
They did a study in 2001.
You've got no hooking motion.
Yeah.
You need a
To be able
I've
to
got
put
nothing there. What I have noticed is there are some bogies on there from a previous owner.
Clean one.
Have you got the whole hand down
Were
there?
are these definitely being sold for nose picking?
We had
Methinks there's like a tax reason they're being called nose pickers.
we had an intern who just didn't work out. Wanted ready to be on the show.
Let's go on the tube like that. Just go to the hospital. Having stops. That is the most feeble. Is that after you're going to not clapping that fingers
Can I just borrow two?
No, I've got one that's more flaccid than the other.
finger joke, well, we've got to be pissed off.
Yeah, they were, Johnny.
I'm just thinking for the lazy Slipknot fans.
Oh, there it is, yeah. That's for the lazy Slipknot fan, too. You can always... It's really good. There you go.
So come on, only 80% of teenagers use their fingers to pick their noses. What do the rest use?
At the end of a pencil? From...
Yes,
There
pencils.
you go.
Pencils is one.
Come on,
And
we've
the
all
other
done
one?
Lid of a big biro, a friend's finger.
A cotton bud.
No, it's nothing as nice as that. It's tweezers.
What is up there?
But also what was weird was 11% do it for, cosmetic reasons. 11% for pleasure.
Hang on, were you talking about the actual...
Yeah.
So getting seems like a silly... Because surely a Hoover would work better than a tweezer.
Put a hoover up your nose.
No, but if you know, if you like...
Irresponsible remark.
Sorry for what I said earlier. Please, teenagers, do not stick a Hoover to your nose.
I sort of figured, I think it was in Private Eye where a bloke had fallen onto a handheld dustbuster type thing. That's the whole thing, load of excuses. My dressing gown fell open. And I fell onto the suction pipe with a Hoover.
People do that, though. Compulsively pull out their nasal hairs as well, don't they? That's a thing. There's an actual condition called Rhino Trichotillomania, and it is the compulsively pulling out your nasal hairs.
But if it's nose hair, I can understand it, because
Right.
I don't want to be chatting away. Because remember, Alan, we had to take the scissors to yours. We're joking.
What was odd is when you pulled my nose hair, my arse tightened.
So we kept going.
So next we've got to pull my arse hair and see what happens.
It comes out your nose like a Mr. Potato.
Stop!
Is it just one long hair that connects?
Top and bottom are all connected.
OK, here's a question that everybody is gagging to know the answer to. What noise does a frog on helium make?
On helium?
Yes.
Oh, I love you, Miss Piggy. You've got a frog in your throat.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Corey, if you want a klaxon, I reckon if you did a high-pitched ribbit, I reckon
Try
you
that.
could get
Try
one.
and say ribbit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I might need a tissue.
It's rare you see so much pleasure at failure. It's fantastic.
It's so good.
I reckon nobody knows, because as soon as you fill them with helium, and then oof, and they're off.
Yeah, you can just see it go...
Been waving their hands like that.
1993, scientists made 3 different species of frog inhale helium, because clearly, party's not gone that well, nobody's turned up. Scientists with poor social skills, I'm going to guess.
We're finished, but we can't leave till 5.
Yes.
So, anything you've always wanted to do.
And it has no effect on frogs whatsoever. And the reason is that frogs don't use the resonance of the air inside their vocal tract to vocalise, the way we do. They seem to create resonance by using their skin instead, and that is not affected by helium. OK, so having that piece of information in your heads, what do you think would happen if you asked a dinosaur to suck on a party balloon?
I think he'd be like, I died thousands of years ago. This is a dream.
It'd sound like...
Actually, Corey, you would be right, because you obviously can't try it out on dinosaurs. So, 2015, the same experiment was tried on a Chinese alligator, which was as close as they could get by Austrian scientists. And it turns out, pumping helium into the tank of a Chinese alligator affects her voice as it does ours. So let's have a listen to the before and then straight away the after with the helium.
So it's lower.
They make it lower.
Well, the thing is, it just changes the timbre. What helium doesn't do is people think it makes your voice higher, and it doesn't. Every voice, as you will know, is a mix of frequencies. So all it does is it causes some of those frequencies in humans, the higher ones, to be amplified so we can just hear them more.
Okay.
But it doesn't actually make the voice any higher. Apparently, because it's true of alligators, it must be true of dinosaurs because of the alligator being a
That would be a really bad, like, next Jurassic Park, like the third one.
They're having a party. Yeah. 2015, they were very busy. They also discovered that giraffes hum.
For pleasure.
Well, we don't know. They recorded giraffes at 3 different zoos, and they found that they make this really deep sound. It's just within the human hearing range. And they don't know if they're snoring or sleep-talking or just saying, it's all right, I'm still here, don't you worry, light will come in the morning. They don't know what it is, but they hum at night.
Couldn't it be 3-part harmony, like the Beverly
3 degrees,
Sisters?
Beverly Sisters, yeah.
That, to me, looks like the giraffe version of going into the loo with one of your friends when she's about to vomit. And
One of them is going, don't take a picture now.
That one on the left got so drunk it tried to have sex with that tree.
She's only got one leg, but I'll have a go.
Yeah. She's still here. She can't be going anywhere.
I spent part of my childhood in East Africa, and we had some neighbours who had a Mini, which they were very pleased with, and they had brought it all the way from England, this Mini. And one day they didn't come home, and everybody was very worried about them, and it turned out a giraffe had taken that rather interesting shape there and tried to hump their Mini and got stuck over the car. And they couldn't open the doors, and then the giraffe couldn't get off. It was...
I guess they drove it back to England and went, come on. We'll knock them off in the Dartford Tunnel.
Now I'm going to give you the horn. OK, here we go. There's one each for you two. And I have here, and I want to know what noise is that for?
Oh, boy.
Oh, is this going to be some sort of Latvian arse trumpet or something, is it? Oh, God, it's not
And 2 points to Ross, yes.
Someone in the audience had an offer.
Does anybody know? It is for a heartbeat. What kind of heartbeat?
Really?
It is still used. It is for the fetal heartbeat. It is called a Pinard horn, and to this day it is still used by midwives to listen for the fetal heartbeat. It was invented in 1895 by a French obstetrician called Adolphe Pinard. And what's so fantastic is that they haven't improved on it. It's still used today. You can buy them just like that on any website of fetal heartbeat.
No, it's too late. He's dead.
So it's inspired by the original stethoscope. Does anybody know why the original stethoscope was invented?
By hearing things.
Yeah.
Was it like an early Walkman and you'd attach it to a chamber orchestra and you'd just have them run behind you. You'd have it on like that, and this is ridiculous. Oh, I've been running. Oh, hang on.
Was it for... So you can get through ladies' garments, so they didn't have to disrobe.
It is to do with embarrassment. Dr. René Laennec, he had to listen to women's chests, but he didn't want to put his ear too close. He was embarrassed.
Too awkward for
Too
everyone.
awkward. So 1816, he invented the stethoscope. Conversation tubes introduced in the 1600s, it was the same sort of awkwardness. Puritan couples, so they could have a conversation and they could talk through a tube. And in fact, those were then used as the very first commercial hearing aids about 1800. So have a look at that. These ones are actually...
So this will work, will it?
Yeah, if you speak...
Oh, Jesus, Sandi! What's wrong with you?
If speaking it to yourself and then you can hear most clearly. Have a, there's
It's
a
kind of like the original...
Hello, Ross. Hello.
Hello?
Oh, I totally hear you.
Germany calling.
The one on the picture we actually have here.
Oh, that's the one in the picture?
The one in the picture. I can't look quite as cheerful.
I can hear the sea. Is that what you're supposed to...
You know how people worry about what earrings to wear? Those, I think, are working. They're working for you.
You look like if Mickey Mouse and Prince Charles had a child.
Thank you.
This one is really extraordinary.
You put that bit in your ear and one back.
Hello? I can't hear anything. OK, I wonder will this, like, amplify it between that and the... Oh, no way! Just to get on the show again? You must be joking.
This one is really extraordinary. It's been lent to us by Dr. Laurie Slater, who's a GP who collects medical oddities. It is a Silver Ear Trumpet. It was made in 1880, and it is possible it is actually Queen Victoria's hearing aid. It is possible. There's no direct evidence of this, but they're very rare, and this one is unique, so it is possible. This is what Queen Victoria used
The
to...
stories that could tell.
I know.
When you say it's possible, is that like a... Did like an earwax expert, like, lick it and go, Queen Victoria?
I think if you are an earwax specialist, you probably don't lick. I'm just saying. What do I know? Lots of fantastic hearing aids in the 19th century. Here are some brilliant ones. There we are. Look, that one. I love the beard one. It's very good.
Yeah.
The walking cane, there's a little earpiece underneath the handle, and you can hold it up to you so nobody knows you're listening. And the other one is a vase of flowers with that completely inconspicuous tube.
I like that they try to jazz it up for a lady. But
Yeah.
Right, speaking of ears, I'm going to play you two recordings, OK? One is of hot water being poured into a bowl, and one is of cold water being poured into a bowl, and I want you to tell me which is which. So here's the first one. And here is the second one. So...
Sorry, I need a wee.
What do we think the first one is? Hot or cold?
Hot.
Everybody? Hot?
Hot.
Yes, I'll go hot.
Yeah.
I thought it was the first one sounded like emptying a kettle, and the second one sounded like filling a kettle.
Oh. OK. Would you like... yeah.
The audience was taken to mocking me. Since Stephen left, they just turned. No one's taken a piss out of that idiot. It's up to us.
That woman there, you said one was filmed, one was... And I think that woman went...
That was admiration.
Admiration?
Yeah.
The sound of admiration. I've never heard that before. Apologies, I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah.
The second one sounded kind of crisp and cold, and I wanted a drink.
Let's have one more listen. So here's the first one. Everybody listen. And the second one.
Can we just bear in mind, this is QI, so I've got a feeling it might be somebody pouring soup onto a horse.
I promise you, it's hot and cold water. Hands up who thinks the first one is hot. Wow. And hands up who thinks the first one is cold.
Oh, that's weird.
OK, so it is about the right percentage. 96% correctly usually identify the first one as hot. Yes! So they do make different noises because hot water is kind of slightly less sticky, is the thing of it. Molecules in it have more energy from the heat, as when hot water hits a hard surface, it breaks up into smaller particles, and it makes a higher-pitched splashing noise than cold water.
Oh, okay.
So But now you'll know. Yeah, so that's good.
I'll be like, oh, that was hot.
Yes.
The next time you pour boiling water on yourself, you're like, is it hot? Oh, wait, the sound of it. Yes, I am. I boiled it.
Why would you want a falcon's nose with you on a plane?
Is it because it holds exactly 150 millilitres?
Has this got something to do with they've got vents, haven't they? They've got those things on to stop them bursting, isn't it?
Well, not really so much bursting as being aerodynamic.
Well, no,
It's they almost like a tunnel in their beak, which is it funnels the air.
Okay, it is
out.
about funneling.
Yes.
What it is that airplanes used to have a particular problem when they reached a certain speed, so the air in front of them struck a sort of wall of resistance, and it causes the engine to choke. Now, you might expect the Falcon to have a similar problem because it can reach speeds of up to 200 miles an hour, which is unbelievable, isn't it? 90 metres per second.
I know that because it's on top trumps.
Yeah. Oh, well, there.
I've got a 4-year-old been playing a lot of top trumps.
But it can still breathe because it has a cone-shaped structure within each nostril that directs the air into their air passages. And so engineers studied... I love this. They studied this, and they made a rather similar device, a metallic cone, which now goes in the opening of jet engines, and it allows air to enter the engines even when travelling at supersonic speeds. It's phenomenal.
Is it bad, though, when a falcon's like, wah, wah, there's one of my friends, and then flies into the rotor, and then the plane...
It's bad for the falcon, certainly.
Because that's bird strike. That's a big problem with hitting the edges. And the other one is frog strike from the helium frogs. Straight through.
People don't think enough about that, I think. Anyway, lots of birds have improved or helped to improve engineering. So Kingfishers have improved the design of bullet trains as well. This is a lovely story. So 1990s, there were the very fast trains making extremely loud booming noise when they got out of a tunnel, and it's caused by a cushion of air which is built up in front of the speeding train while it's in the tunnel, and so it was waking up residents, disturbing wildlife. And there was an engineer working on the problem, and he saw a kingfisher dive into the water one day. And he noticed there was almost no splash whatsoever, and that is because of that lovely, beautiful, long, pointy beak, and he applied the same logic to the trains, and they now have long, pointy noses, and it stops the air cushion building up in front of the tunnels, and it makes them more aerodynamic, and so 15% more energy efficient. Isn't that lovely? That every time you look at one of those, you can imagine a kingfisher.
Do you think they're going to start killing all the birds they don't need anymore? Because we've learned enough.
We've got it.
The engines are working, the train is making no sound. Kill the birds!
But now for the stuff that nobody knows. It's general ignorance. So fingers on buzzers, please. I got a mystery artifact for you, and I want to know, what is this? There we go. Have a look. What do you reckon that is?
Well, it looks like a bit of a brain.
It looks like a professional rugby player's ear. You know, when they were retired, well, we'd like a couple of great years with the team, and, you know...
Well, you're in the right area. It's been lent to us by the Hormone Museum, which is, if you haven't been, it's one of the best museums I've ever been to. It's fabulous.
They have all kinds of animal bits and bobs in that place.
It's fantastic,
Yeah.
yes, and very good cheesecake.
One of the finest collections of antique cheesecake anyway.
So it's cheesecake.
I travel far and wide. No, Aisling was right where she was heading with it.
It's an ear.
No,
It's an ear.
It is, in fact, a sperm whale eardrum.
Oh,
That is.
wow.
It's an extraordinary thing. So while we're on the subject of whales, we go slightly up the scale. Which of these weighs the same as a blue whale's heart?
I am Olaram.
Ross.
I'm going to say the beetle.
I have heard of the blue whale because people have supplied me with many blue whale facts over the years. One of the blue whale facts that I've been told is that the heart is about the size of a mini.
Well, here's the extraordinary thing, is that nobody checked. Everybody thought it was the same size and exactly the same weight as a beetle, and nobody bothered to check. But 2015, which frankly has been the year of checking things we have never thought to consider worth having a look at, They checked it. It turns out that, in fact, it weighs about the same as a male gorilla. It's about 28.5 stone, but a lot lighter than a beetle. It's about 22% what a beetle would weigh. There is... Well, isn't it extraordinary?
Were they doing a transplant?
They're going to put a beetle in. Starts in all weathers.
I like the way they normally use something like, you know, an equivalent that would be in your house so you could relate to it, but they're like, it's as heavy as a gorilla. You're like, oh, now I understand.
Here's a good one for you, though. It's the same size as a two-person Dodgem car. I quite like that one.
Yeah,
that one I can
That's
appreciate.
good.
Or a small golf cart if you live in the Shires. It's also said that the aorta is big enough for a human to swim through. That's not true. It is big enough to put your head in, but... and get out, I imagine. I don't think you just can't get it out again.
Is that what the intern's getting ready to do?
I'm not sure what they're doing there. In other disappointing comparative anatomy news... our intestines apparently don't have the surface area of a football pitch. That's one of the things that people often used to claim. Scientists in Sweden have remeasured using new techniques, and it's only about half the size of a badminton court, is in fact what you've got carrying around inside you.
Imagine all the poor people who, like, had to have their intestines pulled out for that.
To be measured.
Yeah, and they were like, it was worth it for the truth. We couldn't handle the lies anymore.
But think of all the poor kids' soccer teams who had what a nightmare that was. We're trying to have a game of football. What are you spreading this out for? So they gave it up, took up badminton. Next thing you know, not again.
Right, fingers on buzzers. If I toot my horn and flash my lamps at exactly the same time, what is the first thing that you will notice?
I am all
Oh,
around.
shoot quick on the buzzer today.
You've taken up dogging.
Every girl needs a hobby. No shame in that. Do you know what dogging is, Danny?
Should I?
Yeah, it's a quaint old English custom. What you need to do is, after the show, hail down a cab. It's got to be a black cab, right?
Okay.
Jump in and just say to the cab, "Excuse me, cabby, take me to the finest dogging area." Popular with Her Majesty the Queen.
I'm going to go on a limb
Yeah.
and say that I shouldn't do that.
No, all I'm saying is, when in Rome, just give it a try.
What it is, Corey, it's people having sex in cars and people walk their dogs and watch.
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
it
so
was...
it's a perv thing.
It's an exhibitionism thing, a perv thing.
So wait. So the people are doing it specifically
Yeah.
so dog watchers will watch.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? You talk about Americans.
You know, the difference is, if it was in America, it would be people having sex and firing guns at the same time.
Which to me doesn't sound as odd.
No.
It's to do with how far away things are.
Yeah, it's absolutely to do with
So
that.
if the car's a really long way away,
Yeah.
the light will get to you before the sound of the horn does.
Yes.
Like a thunderstorm principle.
Yeah. The brain has to process both. The sight, it's not enough for it to reach you. The brain has got to process it. It processes sound faster than it processes light. So if you're close enough, then you'll hear the horn first. But as you get further away from the source, so, for example, a plane in the sky, the difference between when the sound reaches you and when the light reaches you increases. Light travels faster than sound, and therefore you...
I wonder if that's an evolutionary thing, because things that are dangerous to humans make noises in the dark.
Yeah.
So we prioritise the ears.
I mean, our hearing is extraordinary because it can detect frequencies from 20 hertz to over 20,000,
Yeah.
whereas the eye, the range is much, much smaller. Not after your concerts, obviously.
No.
Ears
I've
are
knocked
great,
a lot
aren't
of
they,
that.
Sandy? I think that's a message for people back home today. Ears, they're great. Brought to you by the Ear Advisory Board. Ears, don't knock them till you've tried them.
What?
Which vitamin can stop you getting a runny nose?
Ooh.
Don't let Ross win again. Hurry.
See?
C. Yes. People used to believe that vitamin C was the thing if you're going to try and prevent a cold, but actually it does nothing at all. There's hardly any evidence it even alleviates the symptoms. The one you want is the sunshine vitamin D.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. That does prevent people getting colds in the first place. and reduces the incidence of flu. Most people who take vitamins shouldn't bother, is the absolute truth of it. So one vitamin C tablet contains 10 times the recommended daily allowance of the vitamin, and you just don't really need it.
You just wee it away.
You just wee it away, yeah. So, if you put a duck in an echo chamber, what are you... What are you going to play? What are you likely to hear? Hurry!
It will become pregnant.
I like how your mind works. It's possible I like everything about you, Corey. But no, it's not that.
I know this only because Lee Mack has a show called Ducks Quacks Don't Echo.
And what's the answer?
Ducks Quacks Don't Echo.
You're right, Lee Mack does have that show, and I thought that was a thing. We'll be finding out next that some mothers don't have them. Unbelievable.
So, that isn't right, because ducks' quacks do echo, but in fact, most ducks don't quack at all. So, real... Yes.
This show, man.
Oh, my God. It's so much higher up.
It's mainly just female mallards that make the quacking noise. What I like is that other species, they whistle, they coo, and they yodel.
Oh.
Yes, they yodel, and some ducks are completely silent. They have nothing to say, and nothing. It's complete silence.
What does a duck yodeling sound like? Properly like yodeling?
You can actually have a look on various popular websites and see ducks yodeling.
Some of the worst Hank Williams tribute acts you'll ever see.
We went to Kew Gardens the other day, and there's a lot of activity in the ponds.
Yes.
The male ducks pursuing the female ducks.
They're not nice about it either.
Not nice.
No,
and you're taking the kids.
Yeah.
And as we went in, there's a woman at the gate giving out guide maps and stuff, and she said, the ducks' behaviour at the moment is despicable.
Play, is there? Nothing at all.
It's outright assault.
That brings us to the matter of the scores. In last place with -9 points, it's Corey. In third place with -4, it's Ross. And in second place with -2, it's Aisling. Runaway winner with 8 points, it's Alan! My thanks to Corey, Ross, Aisling and Alan for their interesting noises. And the last word on the subject goes to American comedian Stephen Wright. I didn't get a toy train like the other kids. I got a toy subway instead. You couldn't see anything, but every now and then you'd hear this rumbling noise go by.